What is up, Mega Fam? Hey, we got a new merch store. It's over on Dashery. There's a big sale right now. You can rep your favorite Mega swag by the pool this summer with lots of different options, hats, different types of t-shirts. I personally like the Donovan Geo Y-front design. Check that out over at mega.dashery.com. Of course, we're also in our summer sale on Supercast. That's the best way to keep us going. You can even gift a subscription to someone. So head to mega.supercast.com. All these links are in our link tree and the show notes. And as always, thanks.
Mega is an improvised satire from the staff of a fictional megachurch.
We are here, the Lord, we are here, and we're ready to podcast.
Hiya, I'm Hallie Levant, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray House.
I never ask why, because Christ is my guy, Hallie. How are you?
Still blessed. I am so excited to get right down to it today because I'm so excited about our very special guest. Just like the Lord stays up with you, whether you're up late at night or up early in the morning, or whether you're getting up from a nap in the middle of the afternoon, our guest today is the late night desk show celebrity around Twin Hills, at least, extraordinaire, Mr. Spike Waltien. How you doing today, Spike?
Oh, Hallie, I am blessed, and I'm so excited to be here and to talk about something funny. Finally, something that we can laugh about, because I just think that comedy is so important
Yes.
in religion.
Yes.
And I think Jesus is a funny guy.
Yes.
I
Gotta
think
be, right?
That's one of the qualities that people don't necessarily associate with Jesus and God. And I just think we gotta laugh. We gotta enjoy how funny this whole thing is. The Bible, I am rolling when I read the Bible. People don't realize the thing is full of jokes.
Really? Okay, good. I am very interested in this because obviously I've never really understood comedy, but I do think it's important because right now everybody is so, what I'll say, just woke, and, you can't really laugh about anything anymore. And I'm looking around going, what are Christians supposed to laugh at? What are we supposed to laugh at?
Well, oftentimes, unfortunately, we're the punching bag.
Yeah, always.
People are laughing at Christians.
Yes.
Mhm.
And you can laugh at something or you can laugh near something. And I want to laugh near Christians.
Great.
And that, I think, is the fundamental difference,
Mm.
is that people are afraid of the Lord. They are rejecting of the Lord. And that's where I hear the laughter of Satan.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That's because that's all this woke laughter, all this making fun of God. Satan loves that.
Yep.
And so I want to do a show that the angels would laugh at.
Oh, I love that.
Oh.
And I know you originally were calling because we want to hear about the new show, obviously, because now in this world of like all these late night guys and, all of them are, thank goodness they're losing their jobs. They're getting rid of those. But I think it was
Well,
time.
sometimes God works mysteriously, and sometimes he works in ways that just are very transparent and make sense.
Yeah.
And this is one of those times. It's that these people who, the left-wing comedians have been laughing at God for too long.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And now it's time for God to laugh at them. And I think he does, by the way. I think God laughs at people. Someone said to me, God never laughs at other people's misfortune. Well, read the Bible. It's very, very funny.
Very funny.
I mean, turning someone into a pillar of salt is a
That's
joke.
pretty funny.
That's a
That's pretty
joke.
funny.
That's
That is
a
a joke.
great joke.
Yep.
That's a good
And because
bit.
you could just kill her, you could just strike her down.
Yeah.
You could. There's a lot of things, but to make her into a pillar of salt. I mean, this is like when I will sometimes be reading in the Bible in bed with my wife, and I will be laughing and she'll say, Walt, go to sleep. And I'll say, I can't. I got to finish this because this is so funny to me.
It's so funny. Well, and I loved your little bit that you one of the promos you shot where the lady turns to the pillar of salt and then you're going, but I've got high blood pressure. And that is so funny. And then, of course, you're going, well, she gave me high blood pressure before she was, the salt. That's because she's my wife. But I just thought that was so funny.
It's great. Yeah, I heard that joke from another comedian and I had to put it in just because I think that, this stuff is, I tried to make it in comedy, as you guys know. I moved to New York City and I tried to do all the stand-ups and the improvs and the, all this stuff. And it just, it was weighing on my heart because I thought, who are we laughing at? I always think people in comedy are always trying, they said, you know what they said in one of the comedy classes, which this is so upsetting. They said, punch up. If you're going to make fun of somebody, always punch up.
What does that mean?
And I said, well, who lives up? Who lives up? Are we punching Jesus? Is that what we're doing? So my comedy philosophy is let's punch down.
Punch down.
Yeah.
Let's have a God's perspective and punch down on people who, as we know, are flawed. And that's why they deserve a little bit of, and that's the pillar of salt. That's God punching down. Why does she want to look back? That's a joke. What happens when you look back at sodomy? You get turned into a pillar of salt.
Wham, bam. And I like to think, did all the deer come out and she turned into a salt lick? Then you have to laugh thinking
we
about...
We got to have you on.
Oh, well, okay. So for our audience that doesn't know yet about Spike Waltien, he is an extraordinary late night desk showman, like the men of old, like Johnny Carson and stuff. He's reviving the late night desk show art form. He has a
right from here.
You have a beautiful studio right here on campus with a studio audience and a light booth, and you're doing God honoring comedy and interviews and it's streaming as well, I understand, right?
Yeah, when is the show actually on?
Yeah, well, so we do the show Friday nights at 11:30.
Okay.
And that's the traditional, because these late night shows, it's such a fun format, but they became sadly so political. And all the jokes were very woke, very political, very boring. And, all this stuff about who voted for who, that's not important to me. What's important to me is punching down.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to use this traditional old format, which is, it's tried and true. It's unfortunate that some of these folks have ruined it, but you come out at the top and you do what's called a monologue. Okay. Or what I call mine a monolord. Because that's, I think, one of the things that I fault these late night comics for. Think about the word monologue. It means it's just me talking. Yeah. That's never the case, is it? That's never the case because the Lord is always there. Yep. So I'm never going to do a monologue because the very nature of that word is that we're ignoring the presence of the Lord. And we're saying that what could be more selfish? We're saying it's just me talking now. It's just me talking. And that, I think, is what led to the downfall of a lot of these guys is that they're monologuing, they're ignoring the Lord. Well, I'm doing a monologue. So I'm talking, but the Lord is also talking. Not impossible that you might hear some tongues. I'm open to that, to being taken over by the Spirit.
Wow.
So
and
great.
Then we move over to the desk. And that's where we have a little bit of chat, what's going on in the community, perhaps, some guests. We'll often have Steve on,
Wow. Okay, that's a huge
lead Pastor
get.
Steve.
He's really excited, Pastor Steve.
Awesome.
To sit down. And then sometimes in sort of like the third act of the show, we'll do worship music, Christian music, celebratory music that, again, it's it's about celebrating religion. It's not about taking your shirt off or, kissing someone of the same gender but this is what those songs are about nowadays. And that's why it's so upsetting to watch television.
And I know you had some issues with the name because at first it was Wake Up with the Lord, but then I understand that you thought that might be too woke. And then, then it was Up with the Lord, but you're doing
with the Lord
Friday night at 11:30. So people thought, am I waking up? Or
it's 11:30, but it goes into midnight.
Okay.
Well, and also some of our viewers, they don't stay up that late.
Right.
And they watch it in the morning on the YouTubes.
So it works both ways.
It works both ways. And so we had toyed with calling it He Has Risen.
Okay, so that also seems like a morning show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you get up but we also thought, okay, well, now if we're accepting that it's a late night show and it's a morning show, it could be an anytime show, know?
Yeah.
So we thought of calling it Midday with the Lord.
But you're still shooting it Friday nights.
We're still shooting it Friday nights, and you can watch it live on Friday nights. It's a live streaming platform, but you can watch it anytime.
Yep.
And that's so nice because that's another thing that's not true about these late night shows, as I understand it. If you don't catch them at 11:30, then I don't know if there's a way.
It seems like an old model. And I mean, they have not honored God. And I think now they're seeing that they're not being blessed. And that's what's so exciting about you, Spike, is that I know God is going to bless Up with the Lord. I know that God is going to bless you. And I bet you're going to become a wealthy man with this late night show. And I have come to every live one you've done since you've opened the studio and started doing them live. And I think they're awesome because you're right. Joy is the second fruit of the Spirit.
You've been coming over here Friday nights at 11:30?
Yes.
Really?
I've seen every single one. And Spike, I think your jokes are awesome. They always have layers,
So many layers.
They work on so many levels. I'm laughing all the way home, still getting it.
And I love that your chair is in the shape of Joe Biden. That's so funny. You're always sitting on Joe Biden.
We thought that was a funny one. And I love
it's not political. It's not political.
It's not political.
No.
It's not.
This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
I love that you mentioned the layers because that is something that a lot of times, and I've encountered this a lot when I was in New York, is that audiences won't laugh. And I'll have to say, I see what's happening. You're not getting the layers.
Oh, okay.
You're not fully understanding the joke.
Because you have to be really smart to do comedy.
You have to be really smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And I would perform for a lot of audiences in New York. And it took me a while to realize I was kind of getting beaten down. And then I realized, these people are dumb. It's their fault. And so that was a real turning point for me in my comedy when I realized people aren't laughing because, they just don't get it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people laugh when you explain the joke. And that's what I do a lot on my show is that, the most important word in comedy is because.
Oh, really?
So I'll do a joke. There'll be silence. And then I'll say, because, and then I'll kind of explain the joke. Okay. And then people will go, we get that. And that I honestly like that sound better than laughter. I
Yeah.
like
Yep.
that to me because that sounds like angels. The laughter is very hard. It's very aggressive. It sounds like Satan to me a little bit. And I like hearing just, oh,
That's good.
Trickle down
A
understanding.
trickle down. Yeah, trickle down
a trickle
understanding.
down of understanding. I love explaining a joke,
Wow.
and I love getting the just sort of like right. To me, so much more satisfying than laughter is hearing a comedian's 3 favorite words. When you tell a joke or you do something funny, I would rather, instead of you laughing, this is what I love to hear. That adds up.
Yeah.
That adds up.
Yeah.
That adds up.
Because then you're getting your message across. And
Yes.
And you're doing it with humor, which is disarming. You got everyone laying their weapons down and they're finally listening. You got them right where you want them. And I mean, I'm with you, Spike. I believe that Jesus is at the heart of every joke because, I mean, like, think about the original jokes in the English language. They always started with what? A priest, a rabbi, and Raquel Welch walk into a bar, you know? Well, that's Jesus is at the center of that. You don't get priests without Jesus. You don't get rabbis. And Raquel Welch wouldn't even have been born if we didn't have a creator. So, I mean, secular people, they want to laugh at all this dirty stuff and they don't realize
You don't have to do it.
Yeah, you don't need it. And Jesus is really at the heart of every joke.
You don't have to. No. And one of the things I've realized about laughter is it's involuntary. And that is a little, in some ways, that's threatening to me. And that's why I like the sort of that adds up. You know?
Yeah.
And so I really want to like control the laughter. I don't like these comics where it feels like it's out of control. People are laughing and they can't, I want a more thoughtful, a more considered audience. And I think that's what we're getting at Twin Hills. And, I love, Hallie, when you talked about the imagining, well, wait a minute, if she becomes a pillar of salt, maybe some deer would come and make her into a salt lick. That is really the fun for us, is taking stories from the Bible and imagining like, okay, what comes next?
Yes.
What's the
Yes.
part that we didn't see? When Moses parts the Red Sea, are there some fish that we can see their reaction?
And they're going,
So we have
okay.
a sketch of what,
Yeah.
and that you see your wife and she's being taken away on the other side of the sea,
Yes.
and is that, do you
Ripping
have
families apart.
to jump across? And, I think, this is from the news, but, ripping families apart, to me, that's very funny.
That is, yeah, and talk about punching down. I think that's a good target.
Yeah.
I'm laughing now because going back to the stuff of you don't have to be dirty to be funny. I did really love the one where you guys had the whore meter and you got the dunking booth you'd have different biblical ladies coming in there. You go, Jezebel and the whore meter would go crazy. And I'm going, and people are saying, can you say whore? And I'm going, she was... Guys,
It's in the Bible. It's biblical.
in the
In the
Bible. You
book.
got Mary Magdalene and it's going crazy, And I just thought that was so funny.
And boy, that dunk tank had so many big splashes that
Big
night. It was
splashes.
only half full at the end.
And I kind of was thinking of okay, so was it if the whore meter went too high then, because it seemed like everybody got dunked.
Everybody did get done. Well, there's a lot of whores in the Bible, and I
Yeah.
think whores are so funny. That to me is just the height of, and why do we think that God put them in the Bible? That's for laughs,
And I'm going, and it's not dirty if it's in the Bible. That's what I just keep going back to. It's not,
Oh,
this is not
No.
about whores. It's about the Bible. It's about biblical whores.
yeah. Well, yeah. And the Bible isn't about whores. Whores are just one of the main characters
Yeah.
Yeah.
of the Bible. Whores are very much, they're like a comic relief
Yes.
element of the Bible.
I think it's in Shakespeare, I think.
I'm just so happy for this perspective because, I think I like looking at the world through your eyes, Spike, because you are able to find the
You just
humor.
find the funny.
And I mean, maybe that is already a blessing that you are living a blessed life because you're laughing. And I hope that with this new show, you laugh all the way to the bank, my friend.
Well, I definitely firmly believe that Jesus wants us to be wealthy.
Yeah.
That Jesus wants us to dwell in a big house.
Yeah, prosperity gospel. Yes.
Prosperity. And so, if I can make money doing this, if I can expand what I have and what I have to pass on to my children, I don't have any children, but just figuratively, that to me is what God wants. That's God's plan.
I did want to ask about your name too. So it was Spike and then Walt in quotes Dean. Was that because you had a stage name? Was that your old stand-up name or what?
Middle name?
Yeah, is Walt the nickname or with Spike quotes Walt Dean?
Yeah, people always just called me Walt.
Oh, okay.
And so I just took to it because Spike is such a formal name. And so I always thought let me have something that's just a little short, funny, one syllable. That's what I always wanted. Sharp, one syllable, funny, informal. And, Spike to me was none of those things. And so I said, well, what if we do just like Walt?
Yeah.
And that to me is, and there are Walters in the Bible. And so I thought that's just a great way to go. And I think a lot of comedians have 3 names,
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And so that to me, that's what's called, they even teach this in New York in comedy. There's something called the rule of 3s.
Oh,
and immediately I said, that was one of the few things that I thought, right, of course, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's
awesome.
Classic. And they said, no, we're talking about how things need to happen 3 times. And that's another example to me of why are we pushing religion out when you're the one who brought up religion? And so now I'm saying yes, and which is one of their things to that.
Yeah.
And then they're saying no.
Introducing Taco Bell's new jalapeno citrus salsa with bright citrus, real red jalapenos, guajillo chiles. Usually, you add sauce to the food, but when the sauce is this good, the food is just there to get the sauce to your mouth. That rolled quesadilla, not a rolled quesadilla anymore. Now it's a sauce shovel. Taco Bell's jalapeno citrus salsa. Get it with any item on the Cantina chicken menu while it's here. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only. While supplies last. Contact store for availability.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs. So you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And so I thought, well, are you a hypocrite here in what you're teaching? Because it sounds to me like you just brought up the Holy Trinity without even knowing it.
Yeah.
That to me is the rule of 3s.
Yes.
And so that to me, I try to use that as a guidepost in my comedy. If something happens once, then I mention the Son and the Holy Spirit.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Complete that 3.
Yeah. I mean, now you're saying that, I can see it in all of the fun bits that you're doing on the show. I mean, the Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego thing.
Yep.
Oh,
where,
those guys are funny. Yeah.
Where they're in the furnace and, I did want to ask about this because I was like, is this okay? Because you said, one's got to pee, one's got to poo, one's got to throw up, and they're all in the furnace.
Yes.
And I'm going, okay, is that okay? Because they technically in the Bible, I didn't read anything about that, but is that the comedy that you're bringing to it? Is that one has to pee, one has to poo, one has to throw up? And it is, you go, you've got the 3 again.
Again, that's a 3, and the bodily functions are so funny.
Okay.
And that's always been true. And again, it's not dirty if it comes from a biblical foundation.
I see.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I think is we always say if someone in our writer's room, because we have a room of writers who generate the material and the jokes and everything.
So that's not
we
all
meet
you.
in the morning.
Cool.
And we bounce a bunch of ideas around, and inevitably someone will suggest something dirty. And it's sad, but these are people with a comedy background, and so their minds will go there. And I say, okay. And instead of just saying absolutely not, no, I say, is there a way we can connect this to the Bible and thereby bring it out of the gutter and into something really wholesome that is not just about, for example, if someone says a joke is like, well, maybe I'll make a joke about sex.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm disappointed. But what if it is, a father having sex with all of his daughters like we see in the Bible?
Oh,
Right.
Oh, I see.
Right.
That's good.
And
That's
then
funny.
I'm saying, now I'm laughing.
Yes.
Now this is fun again.
Yes.
And it's something that the Lord would approve of. It's punching down.
Yeah.
And is
And
that something
so-
like, so is that where, I'm just trying to get into the process. Is that, so with the pee, poo, and then the throw up one, was that a pitch for a sketch? And then you all said, well, let's make it Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So the pitch
That's
was,
exactly what happened.
what if a guy
So
has
we
to
had
pee? What if
a comedian come in and say, I've had this sketch that I've done,
Okay.
and I've done it on stage, and it's fun. It gets laughs, and it's a pee and a poo and a throw up. And I have a lot of people, some of our older writers are going, oh no. And I said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Where in the Bible have we seen something that bears resemblance to this?
Wow.
And then we go, that's part of our process is we say, like, where in the Bible have we seen this? And the same way that a pastor would create a sermon based on every week, sort of based on where we are in the Bible.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing is I'm using biblical events as sort of the same way that, one of the Jimmies from TV would use the news.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, well,
Awesome.
what's happening in the Bible this week? And then we get to make the jokes based on that, And again, the jokes are always punching down. They're never punching up to the Lord. They're always punching down to the people, the flawed people.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Those are the people we want to laugh at.
And I mean, I saw some of your writers. You've got big name writers in there. I mean, I saw one of your guys worked on Gutfeld.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. And that's a New York show, and it came from that. And that was such a great experience. And he learned so much from Gutfeld. One of the things that he learned, drink from a funny mug.
That is, and your mugs are always funny, especially. And I love it when
always
you
do
drop
a
it on
funny-
Biden. And when you drop it on Biden, oh, that's so nice.
Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
That's not political.
Joe.
It's
It's
not.
not political, no.
It's
but
not
but
political.
yeah, that's I think sometimes if a joke doesn't necessarily inspire laughter right away, and it's while I'm explaining the joke, I just lift up and I'm drinking from a funny mug.
Awesome.
A mug that you wouldn't expect, big colors, big funny. And so that's one thing that we take, from him. But yeah, we've got some big names. Randy Kresk.
Oh, wow. You've got Kresk on the desk.
Awesome.
Kresk on the desk. We've got Liberty Dyson.
Amazing.
A lot of these
Wow.
Christian comics who have toured around.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And I saw that former Atlanta Braves player Chipper Jones was also writing in some bits.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Just by correspondence, we'll write in. We've got the email inbox, which you can submit jokes to. We'll put
okay. Okay.
and
Okay,
that's,
we'll put it in the show notes.
Oh, that's
we'll put it in the show notes, and you can just send in a joke, and that way it's great because I get to have material without having to pay a writer, which is really nice. And I think that the Bible encourages us to find ways to decrease the friction in our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you not only have great writers going for you and great biblical content going for you, but also you got physiology on your side because it stands to reason. Think about it. If you and two of your best friends were standing outside a fiery furnace and they open the door and it's blasting you with heat, you know, that would just singe your eyelashes and nose hairs, and you knew you were about to be thrown in there, chances are you might pee your pants.
That's right.
And chances are your best friend, put yourself in that situation, you would do one of three things, and it involves pee, poo, and vomit. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I've got to say it, but I know you'll back me up on this, Hallie. If there were three people standing there, you definitely don't want it to be your two lady friends. It's got to be guys, because a guy is going to say something funny. You know, in that moment, it's not going to be a lady. Right. And it's not funny if a lady poos her pants. I'm sorry.
No, it's just not funny.
Yeah.
And you want somebody to say something funny in those situations, because I've been in those situations, not where I've pooped my pants, but I'm just saying, you know, where you're basically about to do something so sick or so dangerous or, you know, save someone's life. And you know what? It's always going to be a guy that's going to say, like, let's do this. It's something hilarious.
Guys are so funny. And that's why my writer's room is almost all guys.
Oh, are there any ladies?
There are, and what sometimes will happen is I think the funniest jokes are sometimes a lady will sort of say something kind of softly and you'll think, what was that? And then a guy will say the same thing, but he'll say it louder.
And funnier.
And then it gets put on the show.
And then it gets put on the show.
And credit to the fella. That's great.
Credit to the fella, too. Sometimes, too, because guys think so fast, you know?
Yeah.
So sometimes a lady will be sort of in the middle of talking.
Yeah.
And she'll be sort of saying something and her sentence isn't done yet because she's taking so long to get there. And one of the fellas will jump in before she's done talking, kind of cut her right off.
Yeah.
Be louder.
And
loud. Yes, loud is funny.
Yep.
And so that's why I love just a room full of fellas riffing.
That is great.
Men are so funny. They just inherently, to me.
I know it's a shame that women just sort of second guess themselves. Maybe it's a confidence thing that lacks humor because, you know, a woman will second guess. She'll slow down. She'll stop and turn back and look around and hesitate and, you know, kind of like, you know, almost to like turn into a pillar of salt.
Yeah, she'll hesitate and turn into a pillar of salt.
There you go, Gray.
I mean, come on. And then, you know, I hope there's no deer around.
Wait.
Salt lick. It could be a salt lick.
I hope they don't lick her in an inappropriate place.
I hope they don't lick her down.
Okay.
Hallie.
I'm Holly Laurent playing Hallie Levant, and that over there, that's Greg Hess playing Gray Haas. If you would like the Mega VIP treatment and listen ad-free, just go to mega.supercast.com. We would love it if you did. Become a member. Do it. It'll feel so good.
Speaking of Supercast, it's a great time to join. There's a free trial, and that is the best way to make sure that Mega keeps going. You know, you'll get your 4 to 6 episodes per month ad-free, including a behind-the-scenes podcast that we make. And really, it is the way we keep going. So please consider a Supercast membership. A very special thanks to our founding members. That's Bobby and Betty, Nana and T-Pop, Adrian O, Kristen A, and Anonymous. You know who you are. See you next time.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 5-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 45% off site-wide, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.